Five Nights at Freddy's is a video game horror series created by Scott Cawthon. He released the first game back in 2014, and over the span of the last almost 10 years, Scott has released a grand total of 15 games, 17 if we're including DLCs. What made the original game so unique from the ones coming out at the time was the gameplay. FNAF started out as a point-and-click game created in the ClickTeam Fusion engine. You couldn't move around in the game, so you're forced to face the horrors head-on with whatever the game gives you. This could be doors, a mask, cameras, a flashlight, etc. While the gameplay of Five Nights at Freddy's was terrifying on its own, as the series progressed, the fanbase couldn't help but feel like FNAF was being limited by its point-and-click gameplay. Think of how scary the games could be if you had to do maintenance on the animatronics, or hide in a closet to avoid them. These questions were finally answered on May 28th of 2019 with the release of Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted VR. Help Wanted's gameplay consisted of 7 categories: FNAF 1, 2, 3, Dark Rooms, Vent Repair, Night Terrors, and Parts and Service. This meant about half of the game was the first 4 games in VR, and the other half were entirely new minigames. This perfect blend of old and new made Help Wanted stand out as one of the greatest games in the series. The only complaints the fanbase had was the lack of other FNAF titles, such as Sister Location and Pizzeria Simulator. Fast forward to the present, and Help Wanted 2 has just recently been released. The trailer showed a huge emphasis on Sister Location and Security Breach content, which hopefully meant we would get the content from the missing games in the first Help Wanted, and entirely new games based around the Pizzaplex. Does Help Wanted 2 live up to the hype and expectations set by the first? Sit back, grab something to eat, and enjoy my review of Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2. The gameplay of Help Wanted 2 is just about the same as Help Wanted 1. Select a minigame from a category, these categories being Backstage, Food Prep, Staff Only, Fazcade, Ticket Booth, and Sister Location. I want to highlight my favorite early game minigames for this section, but I'll delve into the late game minigames in the spoiler segment. The first minigame that really stands out to me is Cold Storage under Staff Only. In this minigame, you need to use the tools in front of you to help melt Glamrock Freddy's arms without getting him too hot. You then need to open his arms, replace a battery, pop out one of his eyes, and then open his chest compartment. Finally, you need to gently remove the cake from his chest and replace it with another. This minigame was a great way to start Help Wanted 2. While I didn't feel this was as hands-on as the parts and service repairs in the first game, I did find this to be a great entry into learning the complex mechanics that will be used throughout the game. Another early minigame I liked was the food prep game, El Chips. In this minigame, you need to serve food shown on the monitor above you. There is a timer per robot customer, so you need to quickly prepare the meal with the correct condiments before the time runs out. This minigame is very different from the ones we play in Help Wanted 1. I would say the mechanics of these type of minigames remind me of Job Simulator. In that game, you also play as some form of customer service, including working in the kitchen at a restaurant. I did find these minigames entertaining and a good pace switch from the pure horror, but I did find it a little annoying how many of these games there were. There's a total of 4 different food-based minigames, with one of them having 5 difficulties. The last minigame I want to bring up is Arts and Crafts under Backstage. In this minigame, you need to use a toy gun to shoot different items off the boards to your left and right. These could be parts to a paper pal or a paintbrush. You have a timer to create whatever is on the monitor to your right with the correct colors and parts. There are also light bulb icons on the boards, which, when shot 3 times, will kill you. This minigame felt like the perfect blend of horror and interactive fun. Shooting the boards and trying to complete the task as fast as possible is very exciting, but the horror of getting something wrong or shooting a light bulb sometimes had me pausing the game to catch my breath. Help Wanted 2 can pull off a fun minigame that's also terrifying. I won't go into the details about these minigames, but Help Wanted 2 did have minigames based on Sister Location and one minigame based on Pizza Simulator, which is exactly what we wanted from this title. I've talked to some of my friends who have played the game themselves, and one of the main criticisms I hear is the lack of office-based gameplay found in normal Five Nights at Freddy's games. Personally, I believe that Help Wanted 1 did all of the main office levels we needed from the first 4 games, so that meant Help Wanted 2 could mainly focus on completely new minigames. Finally, I want to talk about the main hub you spawn in after you complete a game. In Help Wanted 1, there was a main hub, but you could only use buttons to navigate to different areas, like the prize counter. But in Help Wanted 2, you can actually teleport and explore the area around you, revealing secrets like Faz coins. At the end of a minigame, you get 1 prize. These prizes could be tools, toys, attractions like the fruit punch count, or even full animatronics you could view at the front stage. I love how the main hub started to feel more like a pizzeria the further you progressed. Now that we've talked about general gameplay, let's move on to... This would normally be the point where I would talk about the story, but the only interesting points I could really talk about are the mid and end game. so I'll be saving it for the spoiler segment. Help Wanted 2 is a VR game, so there were of course some normal VR bugs you would experience, like items falling out of your hands or spawning into a level facing the wrong way. But besides that, I didn't experience any major glitches at all during my entire playthrough. I've seen online that some people did experience issues, especially on release, but as of the recent patch, I think the game is basically bug-free. There was a point where I completed a minigame, but I think I did it too quickly, so the minigame didn't actually end, but that was quickly fixed by just pausing and hitting restart. I'm genuinely impressed with how Steelwall put in the effort to make sure this wasn't another security breach version 1 incident. Let's move on to the biggest segment. In this segment, I'll go over the story of the game and explain some minigames along the way. I also want to emphasize that I'm not a theorist. I won't be talking about what I believe certain things mean in the overall story, I'll just tell you what happens in the game. After completing a couple of the beginning minigames, you can find a present on the main stage. Opening it will reveal a Transformers knockoff of Freddy. A new figure will spawn after completing more minigames until you finish all 40. We'll touch more on this later in the video. Throughout the game, you'll start to notice that some of the minigame files are corrupted with the Glitch Trap logo. After completing 15 minigames, you'll be given a Faz Wrench, which allows you to open a locked door to the right of the main hub. Inside is one of the inhibitors from Security Breach Ruin. These inhibitors stop maintenance workers from removing their mask, so after closing the inhibitor, you can grab the mask off your own face, revealing the real hub. With the mask removed, you can now wander around the new hub, the Pizza Sim Pizzeria underneath the Pizzaplex, and play the files that were corrupted. These minigames work as the hard mode, with there being new mechanics and twists. One hard minigame I want to bring up is the Arts and Crafts hard mode. In this minigame, you need to repeat the same steps as the normal game, but while you're collecting the parts and painting, you need to use the flashlight to stun Moon as he slowly progresses closer to you. The flashlight has limited battery, so you need to recharge it by placing it in the destroyed recharge station to your right. This version of the minigame had to be one of my favorites throughout the whole playthrough. Like I said with the normal mode, this felt like the perfect mix of horror and fun. It was actually pretty challenging too, with the flashlight battery being small, but not to an unfair amount. The final minigame I want to talk about is my least favorite minigame out of the 40 minigames in Help Wanted 2, Fizzy Faz. In this minigame, you're tasked with filling a drink with the required flavors found to your left. On your right, you can control a camera system with staff bots working on the ingredients. You need to complete the drinks while giving the staff bots breaks from time to time to keep the ingredients coming. This minigame at first was pretty fun. It was stressful keeping up with the staff bots, especially in the harder modes when Glamrock Chica started showing up. But my biggest gripe with this minigame is just how many times you have to play it. You have to play Fizzy Faz 5 different times in total. The difficulty does increase each minigame, but by the 5th difficulty, I was really struggling. Glamrock Chica will stop the progress of some ingredients if you don't let the bar overfill and drain it for her to eat. I had countless attempts where she would stop the ingredient I was purposely trying to overfill to avoid her, which felt like really bad RNG. This was the only minigame that took me about an hour to complete. As you're completing minigames, the Mystic Hippo machine found in the main hub would sometimes drop hints towards secrets. One secret you could find is in the ruined pizzeria. You can interact with Candy Cadet and give him the fast coins you find in different minigames and around the main hub. Candy Cadet will tell you 2 different stories for collecting all the fast coins. After completing all 40 minigames, you will unlock the last figure and a cutscene will play, showing Glitch Trap escaping a recharge station. A group of evil stat bots will attack you and a cutscene will play, showing you controlling the mask bot that gives Cassie the Vanny mask at the beginning of the Ruin DLC. This, of course, is the bad ending of the game. So, how do we get the good ending? Well, after beating the game, you can find graffiti marks around the main hub that give you hints towards secrets in different minigames. These secrets are hitting all of the secret stars in the Foxy Water Ride, entering 1987 into the drawer in Sister location, making a specific Chica-themed drink in food prep, wiring a code backwards in Bonkabon, putting a soda into a cup during a lockdown in Fizzy Faz, and finally, burning down Phaser Blast by interacting with 2 different rockets and winning the FNAF 2 Phaser Blast mode. After completing the secrets, you can go to the Mystic Hippo machine and collect a glitched purple Phaz coin, which can be used on the Princess Quest 4 machine found in the back room. Doing this will let you play the arcade machine as normal until you enter a room with a man playing an arcade machine. Turning around reveals you're inside of the game, and from that point forward, you play the game in VR. After running through the quest, you'll be given the Glitch Trap plushie from the end of Help Wanted 1 and enter the elevator from Sister Location. This elevator takes you inside of a giant claw machine. Inside, you will give Moon the Glitch Trap plushie, and Vanny will crush him in her hands, giving you the good ending. Both the bad and good ending are really vague and honestly went over my head, which made the endings feel a little lackluster, but that's entirely on me. Now that we've gone over the spoilers with the game's story and minigames, let's end this video with Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2 is both a fun VR game and a terrifying FNAF experience. The minigames were all unique with different mechanics, enemies, secrets, and prizes to win. This game filled in the gap that was Sister Location and Pizza Sim VR, while also giving us a new perspective of the Pizzaplex insecurity breach. The game didn't take too long to beat, but was the perfect length for its value. This game also added the ability to skip tutorials, so you can quickly get into whatever minigame you want to replay. I experienced little to no bugs, had a blast finding the secrets, and enjoyed just about every minigame to the fullest. I give Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2 an 8 out of 10, a solid title in the ever-expanding universe of FNAF. Hey, thanks for watching the video. I've been working on The Last of Us Part 2 right now. It's my current game I'm playing through. I'm thinking of writing a review for it if I really have something to say, because I don't have a great opinion about it from when I first played it, but my current playthrough is going pretty well. If you're interested in that playthrough, you can check out the second channel, Nerdtendo. It's in the description or in the channel section of my channel. I've been uploading edited versions of my streams, but I've also been streaming it on my Twitch, on twitch.tv/Nerdtendo. Otherwise, if I don't make a Last of Us 2 review, I am going to make a review for Persona 3 Reloaded, which just recently came out. But I'm going to have to beat Last of Us first, so that video is going to take a second. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you liked the video, and I'll see you whenever I make next. Bye now, bye.